Hello, hello. Welcome to our Wednesday. It gets to be easier. um, weekly show, weekly training, weekly experience. Today we're going to be talking about um, what to do when doing everything still feels like still leaves you feeling exhausted. So as always, I just got to make sure that we are all working and connected. So I'm reloading the page. My comments are over here. Well, it's not really a comment, but I don't see it. So hopefully you can see me. So welcome to our show. I'm going to check on my phone. What to do when everything still leaves you feeling exhausted. Okay, yes, I see me. I'm going to just tag everybody. And so we can get fully started. Okay. And so there we go. I feel like that works. Okay, so I want to begin with really looking at, I'm going to pull my notes back up, really looking at that situation. And I want to see if I can get my comments over here. So if you're with me, say hello in the comments. I want to see if I can see them. But okay, so here's what I see often is that women are exhausted because they are doing everything and feel like they have everything else to do. You know, I know that story well. I lived there for a very long time. Meaning you did all the household stuff, you did all the kids stuff, and you still lay down at night and are exhausted from all the things that you didn't get done. All the things still on the to-do list. So where does that actually start? Where does that actually come from? Where is it written that this standard of living is required? So what do you believe would happen if you didn't own the story that you have to get so much done? What do you believe would happen? See, the reason you feel exhausted isn't from the long to-do list. It's deeper than that. It's an identity that you began to own at some point in your life. So where or who made you feel that in order to be loved, in order to feel important, in order to feel validated, productivity was a requirement? Now, it could be from society, right? Because that's a lot of talk for, there's a lot of rules that women have been living for centuries. But I'm going to guess outside of that, there is a person, place, or experience in your life that has you feeling exhausted because you're looking to live up to somebody else's standards. And this usually comes from one area. And again, I have too many windows open. It doesn't look that way. I want to say this to you. It's because I have hidden windows. That's fun. I want to share the one space that I see this, where it comes from, that most women, I usually share on private consults with people. If you're with me, can you just make sure you can hear me? Can you just put yes in the comments if you could hear? But one question that could help you discover this the identity that you chose to live that's causing you to feel exhausted. And it's not just exhausted from doing. You know, I read a comment the other day inside the group that people were too exhausted or lack motivation. That's not true. It's not motivation you lack. There's an identity that you are living from that is causing you to be inactive out of fear of something. Okay? So the question, are you ready? I'm going to share the question with you. And this is a deep, deep question that you get to think about, you get to look at, you get to really ask yourself. And that is, when you were growing up, whose love did you crave the most? Answer that. You can drop it in the chat or just write it down on a piece of paper. Because our identity gets shaped from this answer. And the way that we function in our adult life comes from this answer. So, whose love did you crave the most? You can also, if you don't know that answer or think you, like, let me just ask it a slightly different way. Growing up, whose attention did you want more of? Whose attention did you want more of? See, it's when we identify these thoughts and belief systems and then looking at that answer, whatever that answer is. Now, let me ask you a question based on that answer. Who did you have to be to get that love and attention? Or attention. It might not have been love. It might have just been attention. Look at who you had to be. Now, whatever that answer is, that is most likely how you are still doing things to get love, because the number one human need that we have as people is to feel and be loved and give love. And so now your story is you have to be this certain person in order to get that love and attention. So now you're trying. There's the effort. There's the exhaustion. There's the proving. There's all of the things, right? And then if we look at the third question here is, who couldn't you be? Who were you not allowed to be according to that person that you craved to love the most? And now you're exhausted because you're hiding that part of you. That part of you wants to come out and wants to come alive, and here you are pushing her aside to be the person you think you need to be loved and connected. See, exhaustion is not about, I froze. Oh no. Can you hear me? Oh, okay, here we go. Exhaustion is not about activity, productivity, all the responsibilities, all the tasks, all the things. It's actually the story and thread of energy running underneath that's causing you to believe all of these things are necessary. And now I know. I'm going to get feedback on this, and I hear it already. Well, Brenda, these things absolutely have to be done. And, you know, I worked with a client this time last year, actually, and she was just like, I have no time, and I'm so tired. I have no time for myself. I have no time to do things that I want to do, and I have no time because I have all of this on me, and I'm so tired, I'm exhausted. And as we began to work together, I said to her, we worked through that scenario, right, of who she thinks she has to be and what she has to cover up, right? And the exhaustion was coming from a constant need of validation from the things that she was doing, because that was her love story. That was the love story with those three questions that I just asked. So once we learn that, and then we removed the energy around it and reprogrammed it, not just in the thinking, but in the body, in the soul, in our energy. We restructured the pattern of that belief system. Now she's literally taking day trips for herself and putting down this identity of having to get all these things done and being exhausted. So it's not what you think it is. It's a deeper rooted problem. And until you get to the deeper rooted problem and begin to repattern the thinking, the energy, and the thought, you will keep running that same love story that's causing exhaustion over and over and over again. So what can you do? First, you got to be willing to identify, willing to go there, and then interrupt these patterns. And that's what I want to share with you. This is the exact work I do inside my programs, but I have something special coming up for you. I want to share with you that I have a one-to-one experience available that I don't always have available, and that is a session that to get your energy, your mindset, and your body all in alignment so that you can flow and get out of this pattern of back and forth, get out of this pattern of overthinking, get out of this pattern of exhaustion, and start to look at what is underneath so that and clear that out and reprogram those areas. So it reminds me of when I started this work. And I started this work because I couldn't find the help that I wanted or needed, and that supported all of my all areas. I learned very early on that I did not want to sit in pain and suffering and relive stories. And so therefore, I found a way where you can shift your energy, shift the story, the thread. That's the kind of the through line that's causing the behaviors that you are looking to release. And I learned how to do it very quickly with sustainability, right? So, things like I did things that were supposed to shift, like hypnosis, and I did counseling, and I am even an energy healer, right? And all of that is powerful, but all of those things work short term until you actually get in. That's why you can have a session and feel good, but what's going to make it last? And that's shifting the identity thread. And until you do that, you'll keep walking on the same hamster wheel. Sorry, I'm a little congested today. So I have room for two people, that's all. It is a breakthrough session. We will break through it, whatever this story is for you, and we will reclaim your true identity and set you up on a path. So not just a session. We spend a whole week to 10 days together, and we set you up on a path to move forward and be consistent in this new identity. So drop ready below if you are want to be one of the two that I have available. And know this, your love story continues to repeat in your life until you decide that you don't need to be somebody else to be loved. You get to be you. And the symptoms of following somebody else's love story is exhaustion, overwhelmed, overthinking, frustration. These are the things that are the common reaction or common behavioral and energy and emotions from living somebody else's love story. So let's change your love story. Go make the change that's necessary for you. Comment ready if you are ready to make a change now, and I will be here with you, and I'll see you soon. Bye.